In the NFL, trades are part of the business. And at this time of the year, people are always talking about trades for disgruntled players as potential targets. Well, Woodward Sports potentially gave an option for Haason Reddick, but I gotta tell you, I don't think it's a good one. We're gonna talk about it, so stay tuned.
What are we? What makes us what we are and what we're gonna be? It's grit. It's what we started with last year, guys. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
Can definitely compete with the big dogs.
10-5 end zone touchdown Detroit Lions.
You guys are unbelievable, man. I'm telling you.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Detroit Lions fans, and welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike, and as always, we're diving on in. My friends, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about trades. And what we're going to be talking about is the Lions potentially being, suited up, if you will, kind of like a matchmaker, if you will, for a player that, let's call it for what it is. Everybody knows this guy has talent. Everybody knows this guy can ball. Everybody knows that this guy, if you have him on your defense, he can be an impact player. The player that I'm specifically talking about is Haason Reddick. Now, where exactly is this all coming from? Well, where it's coming from is yesterday or so, Woodward Sports put out a caption, image, whatever the hell you want to call it, and they said something about, should the Detroit Lions pursue, inquire, whatever, about Haason Reddick as a trade option? And I gotta be honest with you, as soon as I saw that, I was just like, oh, good Lord, no. Don't even breathe life into this. Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I love the potential of trades. I love it because whenever we talk about trades, there's always so much that can go into talking about it because it's like, hey man, you're getting a really potentially good player. Because let's call it for what it is. If you're going to do a trade, typically you're looking for a player that either one has upside or already is really dang good. That's at least the trades that most people like talking about. Nobody gives a thunder about, 6th round, 7th round draft picks or role players on a roster. Nobody really gives a thunder about that. What they really want to talk about are trades like this, where it's like, okay, you just acquired a player that has name value, he has recognition, but at the same time, he also has proven that in the past, he can do his job very well and he can be a disruptive force on your ball club. And let's talk about it here for a minute. Haason Reddick. This is a guy that literally knows how to be a disruptive force on anybody's defense. Because let's just call it for what it is. What Haason Reddick is known for and what Haason Reddick has built his brand up over the last couple of years is his ability to be a sack master. This is a guy that definitely knows how to get after the quarterback. If you take a look at his stats, for 4 straight seasons, Haason Reddick has had 11 plus sacks. That's very, very hard to do. It's one thing to say, okay, yeah, you know what? I had a season or two where I had, double-digit sacks. But this guy for 4 straight years has had 11 plus sacks every single year. That's very consistent, very good production. And that right there is something that ball clubs are instantaneously going to want to have. They are going to value it because for a defense to have a guy that can get after the quarterback that consistently, can apply that much pressure consistently, is something that is very rare to have in the NFL. So to have an edge rusher, to have a pass rusher as good as Haason Reddick in the department that he is, that is something that a lot of teams want to get their hands on. And that right there, at least from that perspective, I can understand why Woodward Sports would put out that caption of, hey, should the Detroit Lions pursue Haason Reddick? Would it be a good idea? Because, well, let's just take a look at it from the perspective of our defense. The defensive secondary, it's been revamped. We've added Terry and Arnold. We've added Rakestraw. We've got Robertson. We've got, Carlton Davis. Our safety room is pretty much the same as it was last year, and it's a great room. Okay, that's checked off. Linebacking room. Okay, Jack Campbell is starting to step into his own. Alex Anzalone is steady as ever. Okay, we've also got Derek Barnes and a couple of others. It could stand to get a little bit more improvement, but for the most part, it's okay. The defensive line unit. Okay. The edge rusher at Hutch, great. Interior defensive line, pretty damn good. The problem is the opposite edge rusher. Again, a lot of people have constantly, this entire offseason, been saying that spot, that edge rushing unit opposite of Hutchinson is a glaring hole. Because it's like, okay, you have Aiden Hutchinson, who is considered one of the best in the league right now, and he's very, very young. But who do you have opposite of him? Okay, you got a guy in Marcus Davenport who has talent. No one's going to disagree or dispute that one. He just can't stay healthy. That's a big problem. Okay, then you got Matthew Betts, a guy who absolutely tore it the hell up in the CFL, but he hasn't been proven yet on the NFL level. So that right there is a big question mark. And then you have another guy that I personally don't think is going to make the roster, but there are some that would vehemently disagree with me, in James Houston. So it's like, okay, you got a whole bunch of guys that potentially have the talent, or do have the talent, or they have not yet been proven to do the job. That right there is a huge question mark. That right there tells me that, okay, where everything else is kind of settled, everything else is in a good spot, that one area, not so much. And that's why if the Lions were to potentially, consider something like this, having Hassan Reddick would definitely, 100%, fill that void opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, and on top of that, it would give the Detroit Lions dual double-digit sack leaders. Because think about it. Aiden Hutchinson last year had 11-plus sacks. Okay, you get him on one edge, and then you get Hassan Reddick on the other. You've now got two guys that are very good at what they do. It would make our defense a living nightmare for quarterbacks because it's like, okay, both edge rushers can get to you in a hurry. Plus, on top of that, up the middle, you still got guys like DJ Reader, you still got Aleem McNeil, you still got Levi Onwuzurike, you got Pascal. I mean, it's just, dude, quarterbacks would literally be, they'd be literally filling both pant legs. Let's just call it for what it is. And I'm going to also give this as well. Hassan Reddick, he is very, very durable. I went back and I checked his stats. From what I could tell, out of all the games that he's played since he came into the league in 2017, he's only missed one regular season game. Now, whether that was because of injury or whether he was rested, I don't know. But the point of the matter is, he's very durable. Okay, so the guy is very productive. He's very consistent on the field. He doesn't miss time when he's on the field. Sounds like he's a really good player. But, however, this is where I have to start talking about the big issues that I have with something like this. Let's first and foremost address one elephant that's in the room, his age. Hassan Reddick is literally about to turn 30. Like, he's going to turn 30 here like in the next month. Okay, most people wouldn't say that's a big problem for an edge rusher, but for me, it is a problem. Here's the reason why. Edge rushers typically do one of two things once they hit 30. They either kind of stay steady for the next couple of years, like they might become, 7, 8, 9 sacks a year, or they typically fall off a cliff. That's typically what happens. The very, very few rare ones, like your Von Millers and other guys, after 30 will continue to be, sack prowesses. They will continue to be those double-digit sack leaders. I don't know if Hassan Reddick is that damn good, but the question I have to ask myself is, okay, he has produced 11-plus sacks over the last 4 years, but will he be able to maintain and continue to have that production after he hits 30, going into 31, 32, 33? That's my biggest question. And there's a reason why I'm asking that question, which then leads us to the massive, big, white, pink elephant, whatever the hell you want to call it, in the room. Hassan Reddick's greed. Again, I've talked about this before. I understand when players want to get paid. I truly do. You're going out there, you're putting your body on the line, you want to make sure that you're paid because you want to make sure that not only your well-being is taken care of, but you also want to make sure your family's well-being is taken care of. And that means getting paid what you think is a fair wage. But let's also understand something here. These guys are getting paid millions, not, thousands, millions of dollars to play a sport that when I was growing up in college and in high school, I didn't get paid anything for. I just did it simply because I love the game. Now, I understand that's not in the same ballpark here because this is this guy's livelihood. This is his profession, so obviously he needs to get paid. But you're getting paid millions of dollars. I would be just fine the rest of my life having $1 million, not millions. And the biggest reason why I'm putting such an emphasis on this is because Haason Reddick, right now, the reason why he is in so much news right now is because of the fact that he just got traded from the Philadelphia Eagles to the New York Jets. And ever since he's gotten to the New York Jets, he has not shown up to the freaking organization to become a part of the team because he wants a new contract. Well, there's a problem with that. That's not going to fly with the Detroit Lions. That's not going to fly with Brad Holmes. That sure as hell is not going to fly with Dan Campbell. Because understand what's going on here. Haason Reddick is in essence telling everybody in the NFL, not just the Jets, he's telling everybody in the NFL, I am all about me. It is all about me. I am number one in my book. That is a locker room cancer attitude. And it's all, that whole attitude about, hey, it's all about me, what can I get, is an attitude that turns off a lot of people. And the only reason why Haason Reddick is still getting as much interest as he is like I said, you can have that kind of attitude if you have the ability to play like you do on the field. And again, those 4 straight 11 sack seasons are the reason why everyone's putting up with him right now. But that, it's all about me, I got to get paid attitude, that's not going to work here in Detroit. It will not work for Dan Campbell, and it doesn't work for me. The reason why is because that kind of an attitude is a direct conflict to Dan Campbell's grit mindset. It is a direct conflict to this team-oriented attitude and culture in Detroit. We do not want players who are all about themselves. We do not want players who are all about getting for themselves. This is a team culture. Hey, you are going to do what is best for the team. Yes, we are going to try our best to take care of you, but you're not going to just dictate to us, and you're not going to be the one that says, hey, I'm going to get what I want, and come hell or high water, it's all about me. That's why I do not see the Lions even remotely being interested in Haason Reddick. And I guarantee you this, if someone were to ask Dan Campbell or ask Brad Holmes about Reddick, they would say, oh yeah, he's a talented player. Absolutely, one of the best at his position. But that's about as far as they would go. They would not take it much further than that. Because I guarantee you this, they're thinking the exact same thing I'm talking about right here. And I know they are. They would be like, listen, he's a great talent, but he's not a fit here as far as the culture is concerned. You cannot have a guy that is as toxic as Haason Reddick in this environment in Detroit, which is all about, hey, we are working together as a team to attain our goals as a team. Not, oh, I'm just working to get what I want for myself, which is Haason Reddick's mindset. No, that doesn't work. Those are a complete conflict with one another. And again, you have to think about it not only from the perspective of greed, you have to think about it from the perspective of just how much this really looks bad on Haason Reddick's part here. Because the fact of the matter is that, like I said, Haason Reddick wants a trade from the Jets after he just got traded merely months ago from the Eagles to the Jets. But here's where this is another problem for me. I said that, Haason Reddick had 4 straight seasons of 11 sacks or more, right? Well, those 4 straight seasons, he played for 3 different teams. Arizona, Carolina, the Panthers, and the Philadelphia Eagles for 2. So wait a minute. The 4 years that he was absolutely tearing it up in the NFL, great, you were doing that. But you did it with 3 different teams. That right there's another major red flag for me. It tells me, this is a guy that can't seem to stick around long enough in any one particular place. Because he was drafted by the Cardinals, was there for a couple of years. But then after he left Arizona, he went to Carolina, was only there for 1 year, then went to Philadelphia, was only there for 2 years, and now he's only been in New York for a couple of months, and he wants the hell out of there. At that point, there's a pattern that's developing. And again, it all comes back to his centeredness. It's all coming back to his selfishness. That is, again, something that does not work here in Detroit. So again, all I got to say about Haason Reddick is this. talented guy, would absolutely be a wonderful piece for our defense to help make it even better. But he would be an instantaneous toxic locker room cancer that could potentially destroy everything. You don't believe me? Take a look at some of the guys that were, talented at what they did, but once they got to a certain place, they absolutely destroyed the locker room culture. They absolutely destroyed everything. Probably one of the biggest examples I can think of is Terrell Owens when he went to Philadelphia. Him and Donovan McNabb, they couldn't stand each other, but they had to make it work because they were stuck with one another. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about here. Talented guy as hell is Hassan Reddick, but the guy is a locker room cancer. Keep him the hell away. And again, I understand why it was brought up as a suggestion, but let me just call it for what it is. Do not even consider it. Stay the hell away. Do not breathe life into it as even saying, well, no maybe, no thoughts, no whatever. It's dead on arrival. That's my thought process here. I understand we're trying to build the roster. I understand we're in the preseason mode. I understand everybody's trying to think of ways to get the roster better. Hassan Reddick would definitely be one of those ways to make the roster look better on paper. But from every other standpoint, he would absolutely destroy it. So, do not even breathe life into it. The only reason I'm even talking about it is for that very reason. Do not even consider it. Leave it alone. Let it lie dead. That's in essence what this is all about. But anyway, folks, I just wanted to talk about this because I saw it yesterday. It definitely was something that I was considering about, and I was like, you know what? This would be a good time to have this conversation because I know this has been kind of floating around for a little bit. But anyway, having said that, I'm going to end the episode and say thank you all for watching yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, I highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode. Also encourage y'all to watch any other previous content I've released. I also want to encourage y'all, please, if you subscribed in the past and you forgot to do so at the time, or you just subscribed and you not had a chance to do so, again, please subscribe. But I also want to make sure you hit that bell notification icon as well, so that way you guys never miss any more content that I push out. Also want to encourage y'all, please, to share this content with your Lions friends and family members. Share here on YouTube, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it anywhere and everywhere you can with everybody and anybody as you can. The more we can share it, the greater the channel grows and spreads, and that helps bring in more people, so that way we have a better reach. So let's continue to do that as well. And with that, I hope you all enjoyed the content. Hope you all are having a great day. Hope you all got something in your life that makes you happy, makes you smile. God bless. And until the next time we meet, I'll see you all in the next episode.